Hello, family. I just want to talk with you today. That's probably good. Coach Dee Woolridge here, and wanted to share with you today is my anniversary. My husband and I have been together 19 years, and it's such a blessing. But we didn't get here just by accident. We got here because we have loved each other and we've forgiven each other over and over and over. And as a life coach, that's one of the things that I teach all the time on a daily basis on if you have any kind of coaching session with me, you may not believe that you need to forgive, but there's if there's some unresolved resentment or withholding of forgiveness in any way, then it's hard to have a harmonious relationship and even bring abundance into your life if you're still holding on to things. So I teach forgiveness. And to have a harmonious marriage, forgiveness is a ginormous part of it. So I just want to give you 5 tips on forgiveness. And there's different types of forgiveness that I do. I do the traditional forgiveness um, for the people who are not very spiritual. And I do a spiritual forgiveness for the people who are a bit different or more spiritual. Today, we're going to go through the traditional forgiveness. The first thing I have my clients do is understand whatever the person has done to them, whatever they feel that they have been victimized by. For example, if someone hit your car, you feel like they have done something to you, or someone hurt you in a relationship. If that person has hurt you in a relationship, what I first try to do is have people just get their feelings out. What is it that is hurting you right now? What is that person? What do you feel like that person, from your point of view, has done to you, or has taken from you, or kept you lacking in? Just get it out. Don't apologize for how you feel. Feel the feelings. And then I help them understand what the other person may be going through. And one of my big things that I say is that hurt people will hurt people. People that are hurting will make choices to try to feel better. And sometimes their hurt is so severe that they will try to feel better at any cost. And sometimes that cost comes to another person, even someone that they love. You may not fathom hurting somebody that you love, but it happens all the time because our instinct is to self-preserve, is to take care of ourselves first. And even for the people who take care of other people all the time, your basic instinct is to survive. And so if you can understand that, and there's a lot more to it, but this is just a high level basic thing. Understand what that other person could be going through. And I always say that we're always doing the best we can with the skills and the resources we have at that moment. Maya Angelou says, when you know better, you do better. And that is a true statement because if you knew how to relieve that circumstance in a different way where nobody was hurt, then you would do better, right? Okay, so understanding that. The second part is accepting, accepting that whatever happened in the past can never be changed. You can wish that it were different. You can wish that the things that have happened to you had never happened. You can wish for a better husband or wife or mother or child or whatever the circumstances were. You can wish for those things. But I tell you what, as long as you keep wishing that they were different over and over and over, you will suffer over and over and over. My thing is that I say is that the resistance to what is causes suffering. Resistance to what is causes suffering. So accepting that the person is the way they are, love them or leave them, the person is the way they are, and that you can never change the past. And when you say, oh, you know what? I can't change the past, so I can stop wishing for it, then you can move on. Because what happened 10 years ago doesn't have to affect you in this very moment, but it will if you allow it to keep coming in, allow that hurt or whatever it is to keep coming in. So accepting is number two. Number three is compassion. And I always ask them, have you ever hurt anybody either intentionally or unintentionally? And most people say yes. In fact, all people say yes because we've hurt people or have done things that we're not proud of, some things that we want forgiveness for. We've done things that we want God's grace for. And I ask them, can you step into somebody else's shoes and understand that they're not perfect? They're designed imperfectly. They were designed perfectly imperfect for them to learn here on earth. So are you. Can you have compassion for someone who could be hurting so bad that they hurt you, that they were trying to get back to a state of wholeness or oneness, that they hurt you? Many times they say, yes, I can have compassion for them. Then we get to forgiveness. Because if you can have understanding, acceptance, and compassion, then you can get to forgiveness most of the time. I tell you this if you can get these concepts right now, then it's perfect. If not, call me for a hypnosis session and we do beautifully with these concepts and hypnosis. After we get to the forgiveness part, when we get to the forgiveness part, one of the things I talk about is, are you perfect? Are you a child of God? Do you want forgiveness from God? Would you want God's grace, which is my version of a do-over? And they all say, yes, I want that. And who are we to, if God forgives us, who are we to hold on to unforgiveness? And trust me, y'all, I've had my own battles with this in the past on holding on to things that didn't serve me. And what they did was just break me down because that energy that you need to keep up anger and resentment doesn't come from God, it comes from within. And if it's coming from within, it takes a lot to keep that going and it won't make you sick. Then the last thing is love. Because all of those things, understanding, acceptance, compassion, forgiveness, are encompassed in love. And that's where you get to your oneness, your wholeness, your togetherness with God. One problem, the problem is separation from God. Solution, oneness. And when you get that oneness, you can feel a beautiful sense of peace. And then it's easy to be in a harmonious relationship, not worrying about changing the other person, because you can't change the other person. You can only do this: take care of you. When you change you, the energy around you changes. The things you smile at, things that used to bother you, you let go of things that you wanted to harp on and talk about. You just give love unconditionally because you realize who you are, love. And when you do that, that, my dear, is the solution or is the formula for a great marriage. I'm grateful for my 19 years to my beloved husband, Lee Woolridge. I love you. I know you're watching because every time I do a video, you have an alert. I thank you for that. And I'm going to invite you guys to subscribe to my channel, to go to my blog and go to my website. It's coachdeewoolridge.com and download a class there for a life evaluator to see where you are. Forgiveness is part of that. That's one of the life categories is your relationship. See where you are in that. Are you happy? Do you need work there? Download that. It's free. And that's all I have for you today. I'm going to go out to have some dinner with my husband. Hope you're having a